Hello students, today's our topic is respiration. As we know, food is required to us for our growth and maintenance. But do you know how this one is giving us energy? Basically, whatever food you are taking in, that food get oxidized and various chemical bonds which are present in this complex food stuff that is broken down and a lot of energy is revealed. So first of all, after oxidation of food, you're getting a lot of energy. And this energy giving process is actually known as respiration. So basically, you can say this respiration phenomena make this possible that this food stuff is utilized into growth. So basically, you can define this respiration process like it's oxidation of food and liberation of energy. So I can write this definition like this. It's a process to oxidize the food material, oxidize the food material and liberation of energy. So basically all the structures, all the organs of our body, all the systems of our body, they are connected to each other like that complex food is first of all transformed into the simpler one by the digestion process, and later on we are taking oxygen through our lungs that reach to the simpler food material, and this is utilized to oxidize this simple food substance and produce the energy there. This is what? Respiration. So basically, exactly you can say in the respiration process, exactly we are utilizing that oxygen given by lungs, and it's responsible to convert that food stuff into energy. You can write this here directly. Now the next one is types of respiration. Basically, there is a difference between small organelles respiration and huge organelles respiration. So I can describe this respiration into two types. Small organelles don't need oxygen basically. Then this category of respiration is known as anaerobic respiration, where oxygen is not required. While the second category of respiration is aerobic respiration. In this case, oxygen is required if food is oxidized in the absence of oxygen, and later on this one is transformed into ethyl alcohol and CO2, and along with that energy is also released, then this way of respiration is anaerobic respiration. But if food is oxidized, in the presence of oxygen, then a complete oxidation is done, and as a result you are getting CO2, water along with a lot of energy, high energy amount. So this is basic difference between aerobic and anaerobic respiration. A lot of differences are remaining. Here only 2 ATP energy is produced. A little bit energy is produced, while here in the case of aerobic respiration you are getting 38 ATP energy. So huge amount of energy is produced. The next difference is about products. Here ethyl alcohol is formed, which is actually, if this one is accumulated behave like a toxic substance to our cell, while in the case of aerobic respiration, CO2 and water-like products are formed. Those are not toxic to us. The next way of respiration, it's a partial oxidation process. That's why you're getting a low amount of energy. While in this case, it's complete oxidation of food. That's why a lot amount of energy is liberated. And in the last one, I can take the difference as the example of both. This one takes place in the lower organelles like yeast and anaerobic bacteria. It's a very common in microbe and other microbe I can write. While aerobic respiration is this one take place in all the kind of organelles, all microbes. First, so this aerobic and anaerobic respiration is done in animals as well as in plants. Now I'm coming to the next point. There is respiration in microbes. I'm writing organelles here because we are not going to talk about microorganisms. So if you see the respiration in organelles, this one can further classified as respiration in plants and animals. Because plants and animals have different kind of tissue, so different mechanisms, not exactly different, but different mechanisms they have, different structures they have for the respiration process. That's why we will discuss this part as in plants and later on in animals. Today I am going to discuss respiration in plants. As you know, plants are also living beings and they can respire. First myth you have to break that plant takes CO2 for the respiration. No. Plants always take oxygen for respiration process and they reveal CO2 after it. I am drawing a diagram of a plant here. Actually, it's a potted plant. So exactly three phenomena are going on at the surface of leaf that has some tiny pores on it, and these tiny pores are basically stomata. So through stomata, a lot of processes are going on. Let me explain this. This red mark structure is stomata. These tiny pores are involved in the losing water molecule as the vapor, but this phenomena is known as transpiration. Somewhere these stomata are also involved. They are taking CO2 in and losing oxygen out. If this phenomena is going on, then they will utilize this CO2 for the food formation process, and this is called as photosynthesis. But one more mode is here where these stomata taking oxygen in and losing CO2 out. And this phenomena is actually respiration. Okay? So first thing is very clear to you that in the respiration plants also take oxygen and release CO2 out. That means exactly they are doing aerobic respiration. Now the steps of aerobic respiration in plants. There are three steps of respiration. The first step is external respiration. It's actually the gaseous exchange step. While second step is internal respiration. And third step is cellular respiration. I'm talking about the first step, external respiration. It's similar to breathing, that is only the gaseous exchange in between organelles and its surrounding. Here, every plant part is involved in the external respiration or gaseous exchange. The first I have taken the example of root. Root can do its own gaseous exchange with the environment. How it's possible? Although root is the submerged or its underground plant part that has a lot of finger-like projection, and these are termed as root hairs. Basically, these root hairs are the extension of epidermal cells, and this is involved in the gaseous exchange. Root has a cap-like structure. This is root cap, while these finger-like projections are root hairs. Now, as I'm saying, this one is usually underground plant part, so it's always surrounded by soil particles. And among soil particles, huge gap is found where soil air is trapped. The soil air is trapped, and that soil air is utilized to take in and to lose out CO2 out. This air is moving inside through stomata, and through stomata again CO2 is moving out. So exactly this one is oxygen what's taken in and CO2 that is loose out through stomata. Through root air, through root hairs, not stomata. So basically these root hairs are involved to take oxygen in and to liberate out CO2 out. So this one makes the passage for the entry and exit of air, and these are the breathing structure of roots. So basically root hair involves in the exchange of gases. Now I'm taking the second example, second part of the plant that's involved in the respiration process is stem. Now there is a problem. Stem can be green stem or the woody stem. So according to the plants, two different kind of stems are available. First is the herbaceous stem, that's a green stem, and on that a tiny pore is available known as stomata. While the woody stem, that means tree stem, has different kind of pore or the gaseous exchange structure known as lenticle. These tiny pores are involved in the gaseous exchange at the surface of stem, whether it's a green stem or a woody stem. It's a green stem. At the surface of green stem, these tiny pores, stomata, are available, and through that gaseous exchange is possible. They are taking oxygen in and liberating CO2 out. While if you talk about the woody stem, the lenticle on the tree branch, if you look at a tree, always tree barks are ruptured, and just because of that rupture, slit-like opening are present at the surface of tree bark, and these opening are basically slit. This one is a slit-like opening. Beneath the slit, live tissues are exposed, and they will behave like the structure or the stomata. Those are involved in the gaseous exchange, and these specific stomata are known as lenticles. Now you can see these lenticles are involved in the gaseous exchange. They are responsible to take oxygen in and to liberate CO2 out. Third, I am telling about leaf. Leaf is a very soft tissue. At the surface of leaf, tiny pores are available and those are involved in the gaseous exchange. Numerous tiny pores are available at the surface of leaves, and these tiny pores are found in the scattered manner on both the surfaces, but mainly they are present at the lower surface. If you highlight one tiny pore, then you can see a huge stomata is present that has kidney shape or bean shaped guard cells. Those inner wall is actually thick. They are with chloroplast. These guard cells are always surrounded by some thin wall cells. Those are known as subsidiary cells or accessory cells. These bean-shaped cells are guard cells, while these thin wall cells are accessory cells or subsidiary cells. This is the nucleus of both, while the structure is called as chloroplast. Now inside of these two guard cells, one opening is present and this opening is known as stoma. Stoma, or you can say it's a pore. And the whole structure is termed as stomata. That means these are pore keeping structure. These stomata are responsible to take oxygen in and to liberate CO2 out. This gaseous exchange is done by stomata. They lose water out in the way of vapor, that's transpiration. They also take CO2 for food synthesis and liberate oxygen. As I told you earlier, this step is photosynthesis, while the early step where the water is loose in the way of vapor, that's transpiration. So exactly these structures, these three structures are involved in the gaseous exchange. So you can say plant can do its own gaseous exchange. So there is very little but need of transportation in plants. So exactly the second phenomena, that's the what? That's internal respiration is very restricted. It's very limited here. And the last one is cellular respiration. It's like animal. So it's all about the respiration in plants. Thank you everyone.